Moving on to small vessel vasculitis, the first one will be Henoch-Schönlein purpura. So, Henoch-Schönlein purpura will be the most common vasculitis in children. If they ask about the most common vasculitis in children associated with MI, then it will be Kawasaki. But as such, the most common vasculitis in child will be a Henoch-Schönlein purpura. So, as the name suggests, it is having purpura. Purpura means there is going to be some pinkish spots. Okay, so pinpoint hemorrhages will be present. So normally we always think purpura associated with a thrombocytopenia, right? But here, very important is the purpura here is not related to thrombocytopenia, but related to the vasculitis. Okay, because of vasculitis only there is going to be purpura, and as such the platelet count is increased and not decreased. Okay, very important, the platelet count is increased. In Kawasaki disease also we saw thrombocytosis. Same for Henoch-Schönlein purpura, the thrombocytosis is present. And here it is going to be associated with IgA nephropathy also. So IgA nephropathy, we will be reading that in kidney chapter as well. So this is also going to be IgA mediated. Like IgA nephropathy is also going to be IgA mediated. And the classical symptoms with which the HSP presents it, the child will have abdominal pain, joint pain, then hematuria. Along with that, they'll also have this palpable purpura. So non-blanching palpable purpura. If you see in this image, this is the classical image of a purpura. So if they are giving all of this history with hematuria, abdominal pain, joint pain and purpura, then you think about Henoch-Schönlein purpura. The next small vessel disease will be Behçet's disease. Behçet's disease, here again the HLA associations are important for this. It is associated with HLA B5 and B51. So 5. Okay. And here again you can have anti-endothelial antibodies, but here it is going to be directed against enolase. So in Kawasaki disease also we saw it was having this anti-endothelial antibodies, right? So Behçet's disease also has this anti-endothelial antibodies which cause the vessel injury. And it is a classical triad here, Behçet's disease. The patient can have recurrent genital and oral ulcers. Along with that, they'll also have uveitis. So this is the classical triad for a Behçet's disease. So the next small vessel vasculitis will be microscopic polyangiitis. So remember, I asked you to read it in comparison with PAN. So this is a small vessel vasculitis which is pauci-immune, that is no immune complexes are being formed, but as such it is associated with ANCA, which is anti-neutrophil cytoplasmic antibodies. So ANCA associated but pauci-immune. So here the pulmonary vessels are involved. So in PAN it was pulmonary vessels were spared, but here in microscopic polyangiitis, pulmonary capillaritis is a very important feature. Other than that, when kidney is involved, it is going to cause glomerulonephritis. So these two features are exact opposite that of PAN. Okay, and here there is no hepatitis B association, no granuloma formation. PAN also there was no granuloma formation, but here it is going to be ANCA associated, and the ANCA here will be a P-ANCA. P stands for perinuclear. So perinuclear, we have an enzyme called as MPO, which is myeloperoxidase. So against this MPO, they are going to form the antibodies. So this image, if you see, this is an indirect immunofluorescence. Whenever we see this green kind of picture, it is going to be immunofluorescence. So here, if you see, it is all surrounding this nucleus, we are seeing the immunofluorescence. So because this is a perinuclear antibody which is being highlighted, directed against the MPO. So microscopically, what are the features? Same as in a PAN only, focal, segmental, necrotizing vasculitis. And here, very important feature which distinguishes it from PAN will be this leukocytoclastic feature. So leukocytoclastic means the neutrophils, their nucleus will be fragmented, and those nuclear fragmented debris will be accumulated around the vessels. So that is why it has also called the name as leukocytoclastic vasculitis. Okay, it is also called as hypersensitivity vasculitis or leukocytoclastic vasculitis, and the classical feature of this will be the fragmented neutrophilic debris present around the vessels. The next small vessel vasculitis, again which is a pauci-immune vasculitis, will be granulomatosis with polyangiitis. Previously, its name was Wegener's granulomatosis, and it has a classical triad, and the major feature which describes it will be necrotizing granulomas. And these necrotizing granulomas will be present both in the small vessels, then also in the upper airways and the lungs as well. So necrotizing small vessel vasculitis along with upper airways and lung necrotizing granulomas. So we also have this necrotizing crescentric glomerular nephritis, which will present as RPGN in the kidney. So rapidly progressive glomerular nephritis. So in lung, only when the upper respiratory tract is involved, so that is called as the limited form of vasculitis, limited form of venous granulomatosis. While if the entire thing is being involved, it is going to have kidney features as well. So pulmonary and kidney features are very important for venous granulomatosis. And in the lung, they are known to form cavities and nodules. So cavitation and nodules is a classical feature of venous disease. And the necrosis which we see here is a geographic kind of a necrosis. Like this it is going to form. So where else do you see geographic necrosis? In glioblastoma, brain. So glioblastoma also you have this geographic necrosis. Other than that, venous granulomatosis also has geographic necrosis. So the classical features with which the patient presents with will be lung. So lung infections, persistent pneumonitis will be there. Along with that, bilateral lung cavities and nodules history can be given. And since the upper respiratory tract is being involved, it can present with sinusitis, nasal perforation also, otitis media. And here we'll have strawberry gums. So pink flamed gums will be seen, which is called as strawberry gums. So Kawasaki disease had strawberry tongue, while strawberry gums are seen in Wegener's. Okay. And since kidney is being involved by RPGN, you are going to have this hematuria. And since this is a posse-immune, it is going to be associated with ANCA, that is anti-neutrophil cytoplasmic antibody. Here, it can be both C-ANCA and P-ANCA, but more of C-ANCA, okay? C-ANCA is going to be present more than P-ANCA. And the C-ANCA is going to be directed against cytoplasmic protein called as proteinase 3, cytoplasmic enzyme called as proteinase 3. So, in this image, again, if you differentiate, leaving this dark area is the nucleus, which is being highlighted. So this dark area, except this dark area, the rest of it is all appearing neon green, right? So it is against this cyanca, which is being highlighted here. So the next small vessel vasculitis will be Church-Strauss syndrome, which is also called as allergic granulomatosis with angiitis. So the previous name was Church-Strauss syndrome. The current name is allergic granulomatosis with angiitis. So as the name suggests, it is going to be same as Wegener's only, but allergy will be present. Allergy, it is associated with allergy. So whenever allergy is there, there is going to be eosinophilia, atopy, asthma relation. So when eosinophilia is present, it usually leads to kind of fibrosis. And when this eosinophilia is there, it tends to deposit in the cardiac also. So cardiac involvement will be present in Church-Strauss. So C for C, you can remember cardiac involvement can be seen in Church-Strauss syndrome. Other than that, like Wegener's granulomatosis, it is also going to have necrotizing granulomas, and angiitis stands for small vessel vasculitis. But here the ANCA which is associated will be P-ANCA. Okay, so we had seen about all the vasculitis. So when you approach a vasculitis case, you always think about the history first. First look about the age of the patient, whether it is a child, then you think about only two things, which is Kawasaki disease and HSP. So if they give about abdominal pain, joint pain, hematuria, and purpura, you think about HSP. If they give history about heart related symptoms or fever with strawberry kind of tongue, then you think about Kawasaki disease. Then if it is an adult, you move on to what kind of vessel history they are meaning. Like headache they gave, you think about giant cell arteritis. They tell about pulseless disease, upper limb pulse is not there, think about Takayasu. So approach the case with the history. And other than that, you need to know about Behçet's HLA association. There again, you will get history of this recurrent oral and genital ulcers. So vasculitis is a very important topic under blood vessels.